I mean, look, I read today about a 10-year-old girl with Down syndrome who was taken from her mother and put in a cage. I read about did you say want to a 10-year-old with Down syndrome being taken from her mother?
What I said is you can pick anything you want out, but the bottom line is very clear. When you cross the border illegally, you have given up the rights of this country.
Womp womp. Guys, I love it. This should be our response anytime the left open their stupid mouths from now on. We just cut them off with womp womp. You know, when they start with the patriarchal system and capitalism are responsible, womp womp. But you're a racist, womp womp. You know, it's awesome. Guys, welcome to the newest outrage event. The media are creating fake outrage again. This time it's around kids being separated from adults at the southern border. They beta tested this a few weeks ago with the picture of the kids in the cage who weren't actually in the cage, and they tried to blame it on Trump, even though the photo was taken during the Obama presidency. They're calling Trump a liar because he said that this policy has existed for a very long time, and it has. Guys, we have always separated children from adults in these detention centers. We do it for the same reason we separate kids from adults in all kinds of other settings, because these kids can be victimized. All right, I know the media is making it sound like all of these children are here with family members and we're just ripping them out their hands and throwing them in cages like Guantanamo Bay detainees. That's not what's happening. Okay, first of all, many of these kids are not with family members. In fact, the majority of them are not with family members when you count the teenagers. The fact is that these kids are at risk when you put them in a huge detention center with many adults, many of them who are not the best people in the world, many of them who are bad hombres, as Donald Trump says. You know, you got to think about this. When you have people who are coming into a country illegally, that means for some reason they could not get a visa. And sure, some of them are very poor and uneducated and they don't know how to get a visa, but many others have criminal histories and we're not allowed to get visas. So we separate these kids. We're doing it for their protection. And they're put into buildings that are not little cages like the media would have you believe. They're open rooms with health care, with air conditioning, with 3 meals a day, with games, with televisions. These kids have a better life inside these detention facilities than they would have had with the families or the people they were traveling with before. And that's just the truth. Okay, these people had no plans for when they got here. They were just going to walk around the street, for all we know. And here's the thing. What does it say about parents who would put their kids in this situation? The media wants you to think that these are all just loving parents who, you know, we're going to go move into a suburban home and raise good kids who are going to go to the best schools and become the doctors and lawyers of tomorrow. That's not what we're getting here, okay? This is the lie that has misrepresented illegals for a very long time now. You know, there are lots of great immigrants. My wife is one of them. She's a doctor. She came here from El Salvador. And the very reason why I oppose illegal immigration is the same reason she does. She knows that people coming here illegally are not the type of people who would make this country better, who would contribute to this country and to the future that we're trying to build for our children. You know, the media wants you to think about these children. Think about the children. Rachel Maddow's on there crying. They're all in hysteria. I want you to think about a couple children today. Think about this child. And this child. Yeah, I blurred their face out with the emoji thing, yeah. But anyway, these are my immigrant children, okay? And their future matters more to me than any of these people in the southern border. You know, and here's the thing. I would mow down 100 men to protect my children. I hope that you would do the same. You know, this is how we build a better America, by caring for our own kids and our own communities first. It might sound selfish to the left, but think about this. If you don't take care of your family, if you don't take care of your community first, what do you have? You have nothing. We have nothing. Our society falls apart. And that's been the problem in America for a very long time. So we have not taken care of our kids. We have not taken care of our communities. This is why so many kids have depression. So many kids are on all of these psychotropic medications. This is why we have all these mass shootings, all these gang incidents. We need to start worrying about our children first. We need to start worrying about our communities first. And we need to send a strong message to the rest of the world that we will not tolerate kids being used as anchors. Because when we start sending mixed messages, or when we send that message to the rest of the world that, yeah, we're going to give amnesty to these kids because, you know, they're kids and anybody who brings kids with them will get amnesty. That's just going to open the floodgates. It will open the floodgates for more kids being abused, more kids being put in danger, people kidnapping kids to come here, people sending their children as anchors. That's not the message we want to send. Europe sent that message and they're now paying for it. That's how you get dead kids on the beach. Remember the kid who died, who was on the beach and the media ate that up? Turns out his father was just trying to get here so he could get dental work for free. Yeah, that's what happens. So guys, we need to stand strong on this, okay? You know, it's desperate times call for desperate measures. Sure, you want to take care of other people, but let's take care of our people first. This was the reason Donald Trump was elected. The Democrats want us to feel bad because of making this choice to put our kids first. We should never feel bad about that. You know, we take care of our kids. They grow up to be doctors, to be engineers. They will make the future better for everybody. All right, so before I go, I want to tell you guys a little story. The other day, I'm debating this left-winger on Twitter, and she accuses me of watching Fox News, you know, FAUX News. So I asked her, I said, yeah, I watch Tucker Carlson, so what? She said, well, that means you're not credible. I said, oh, really? So I asked her a question. I said, do you watch CNN? She said, yes. Do you watch MSNBC, Vice, BuzzFeed? She said, sometimes, yeah. I said, do you know all those companies are bankrupt? She said, no, that's not true. So I showed her. I showed her the statistics. I said, all of these companies are losing millions of dollars a year. I said, why do you think they stay open? Why do you think they pay people like Anderson Pooper millions of dollars a year, even though his show loses millions a year? She said, I don't know. I said, I know why. Because they're pushing propaganda. Because they are being kept open to tell the public what to believe, what to think, how to vote. They are pushing anti-nationalism, anti-populism, pro-globalism agendas. I said, this is why they have the fancy studios. This is why they pay the expensive anchors. They want control over the American public. They want you to think the way they want you to think. I told her this is why you could see all of these compilation videos online of all these different networks saying the exact same thing word for word. They are being told what to say by the board members of their parent companies, by the people at the DNC, by the people at think tanks like the CFR and all these other globalist organizations. They are getting marching orders from the higher-ups. And they are kept open despite losing millions year after year because they have a monopoly on what people think in America. And we need to break that monopoly, guys. You know, they want to pull at our heartstrings. They want to use all these theatrics to get us to budge an inch on immigration. We can't give them an inch, guys. The second you give them an inch, they'll start touting that as a victory, and they'll take a mile. You know, it's time we stand up to these bullies in the media, and we tell them, once and for all, womp womp. I'm out, guys. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, Womp Womp.